Hey everyone, it's me, Simon Wesley again, and yeah, we are back to more Tsukihime. Why is my face doing that? There we go. I slowly drift awake. My arm feels heavy as I reach out for my glasses. Looks like I've got a fever. The thought crosses my mind as though it were someone else's problem. I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normalcy, though a tinge of dizziness remains. The symptoms resemble a common cold, but it's just the flush of a light morning fever. It'll pass with time, like giving a cold engine some time to warm up. Someone knocks on the door. It's Isui. After waiting for a moment,
失礼します。
Hisui enters the room with a bow.
おはよう、翡翠。今朝もありがとう。
おはようございます。四季様。お目覚めになられていたのですね。
ああ、昨日はぐっすり眠ったから。着替えたらすぐに食堂に行くよ。琥珀さんにはちょっと熱があるから、量は少なめだって伝えてほしい。
かしこまりました。体温計は必要でしょうか？
いらないよ。どうせいつもの微熱だし。
それでは着替えはここに。食堂でお待ちしております。
Hisui bows and leaves the room. Maybe my imagination, but her bow doesn't feel as crisp as usual.
心配してくれてるのかな。でもこんなの本当にいつものことなんだけど。
Ah! Sorry, cat's messing with my headphone cord. Alice? I'll hold you for a moment so you stop eating the cord. ah. Yeah, I currently have a kitten in my hand. Or in my arms. I appreciate the feeling, but it's really no big deal. I mean, if he wants to talk about people who've had it rough, she should see Arcueid. That wound of hers was no joke. Well, it's been a couple days, so she probably regained a fair bit of her strength. But yeah, that was a pretty nasty wound. Ah. Alice, stop fidgeting.
しかし、ガムテープは本当ないよな。見てるこっちの血の気が引いたし。
He misses her. He misses her. I stop before finishing the thought. There is no next time. We won't be seeing each other again. It's better to avoid getting involved with someone like that.
そうだ。それがいいに決まってる。
High time I get this through my head. Today's Monday. It's the beginning of the week, and I'm eager to get started. I wash my face and get dressed before heading over to the parlor. Akiha is sitting on the sofa. It's just after 7, but she's already enjoying her post-breakfast cup of tea.
あら、おはよう、兄さん。今朝は早いんですね。
My waking up early has Akiha in a good mood, it
お
seems.
はよう。秋葉の方こそいつもおはよう。
All of a sudden... Oh, anemia. I'm struck with the bout of vertigo and grab my head. The dizziness persists. My body heats up like I've never felt before.
兄さん
I hear the sound of rustling clothes, then footsteps toward me.
どうかしました？顔が赤いけど熱でもあるんですか？
いや、熱は確かにあるんだけど。
Ah. Alice, stop batting at the headphone cable. Akiha comes closer and peers up at me from below. Strange. For some reason, it feels like it's worse when I'm looking at her.
少し熱があるようですね。昨夜はきちんと毛布を使いましたか？環境が変わったから調子を崩しただけでしょうけど、念には念よね。そこで待っていてください、兄さん。今琥珀を呼びつけますから、朝食の前に熱を測りましょう。
Akiha looks over to the lobby. She's probably thinking about going over to the kitchen getting kohaku. I avert my gaze from Akiha in that moment. As I do, my dizziness passes. So, this cat, she really likes trying to eat the headphone cable.
いいんだ、アキハ。琥珀さんを呼ぶまでもないよ。起きたばかりで体調が悪いだけだから、いちいち気にしないで。
体調が悪いのならなおさら放っておけません。風邪だったらどうするんですか？些細な病気でも兄さんには大事でしょ。免疫や抵抗力が人より低いんですから。
She can be a good sister when she wants to be. Visibly irritated, she brings her hand to my forehead. Her delicate palm is cold to the touch, enough to send a shiver run down my nape. For the briefest moment, I cease breathing. Akiha is right. Something's wrong with me today. I don't know why, but every movement of her makes me tense. Just watching her causes my temperature to spike. The realization hits me that I might faint if she keeps touching me.
兄さん、随分と熱くないですか？
Akiha's words ring through my skull. Should probably move my mic a bit closer. It feels as if her long black hair and porcelain skin have evaporated into heat and trickled into my head. This is bad, but the feeling will fade. Fatigue must be causing it. My body hasn't had enough time to recuperate. Before I end up doing something incredibly stupid in front of Akiha, I make my move.
よし、休養を思い出した。
That's weird. I brush away her hand and scurry off like a panicked rabbit.
シキ様、朝食まであと5分ほどかかりますが。
そうか、ありがとう。俺のカバンは？
カバンでしたら
Hisui is as prepared as always. I thank her and take it in
行ってく
hand.
れ。見送りはいいから。
お待ちなさい。熱があるのに何をしているんですか、兄さんは。第一、廊下は走らない。妹の言うことはきちんと聞くが我が家のルールです。おとなしく今で熱を測ってください。
Akiha has come to the lobby to stop me. But luckily for me, her reluctance to run indoors is slowing her down.
悪い。ルールを守るのはまた後で。熱も下がったし、このまま学校に行ってくれ。朝飯は勝手になんとかするから、今朝は多めに見てくれ。
なんとかするって、ちょっと兄さん、待ちなさい。何ですかその言い分は。後で守るルールなんて、それじゃあ規則とは呼べません。
In an effort to escape Akiha's objections, I burst out of the entrance. I clap my hands together and whisper a heartfelt apology to Akiha in my head. Honestly, I'm grateful that she's concerned for my well-being, but I can't just be like... By the way, whenever I look at you, I get so dizzy I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Not when she's so worried about my health, and who knows what kind of pain might be in store if I can't clean. Breathing out a huge sigh, I finally settle down. I should be safe here. My assumption is that Akiha wouldn't be immature enough to drop her schedule to come after me.
けど怒る理由がルールについてなのが秋葉らしいな。
I laughed to myself, thinking back to what she said. She may be my sister, but I still can't tell where her boiling point is.
コンビニにでも寄っていくか。
My wallet's not doing too hot, but I ought to at least eat something. Why am I only ever hungry on days like this? Usually I'd be fine skipping breakfast, but today I'm starving. I'll just grab something small to hold me over until lunch. It only takes a couple of minutes to get in and out of the store. I arrive at school 30 minutes earlier than usual. There aren't many students around. By my count, there's 2 or 3, including myself. Though in as little as 10 minutes, the front gate should be packed with students. Naturally, the guardrail is devoid of an unbelievably beautiful woman sitting in wait for someone. The athletic clubs are in the middle of their morning practice. I watch them out of the corner of my eye as I approach the entrance. Working up a sweat is actually pretty enjoyable. There's something about it that makes me feel alive. Yeah, honestly, I find sports more fun to play than to watch. So I kind of feel Shiki here. Though honestly, cardio always sucks. But it is the cornerstone of good health. But I never wound up joining the club. I didn't want to burden anyone with my anemia. Plus, my doctor had strongly advised me to avoid strenuous exercise. When I was a first year, I was invited to join a few times. But I always told them, maybe next time. And each time I did, I felt the distance between us grow. In the end, maybe the feeling of not wanting to get involved with others became a self-defense mechanism. This isn't the time for silly sentimentality. I shout out some support to the club's knee-deep in training before making my way to the main building. Ganbatte ne!
あらら、おはよう、しきくん。今朝は早くない？
You're not gonna say anything weird this time, are you, Noelle?
はい、ちょっと時間を間違えて。おはようございます、ノエル先生。
I run into Miss Noelle on the way to the classroom. She seems just as surprised as me to see someone around at this time.
時間を間違えると遅刻するんじゃなくて、早くから登校しちゃうんだ。しきくんはあれね、勤勉かね。今時の若い子なら、もっと気楽に生きていいんじゃない？
Hikuri shitete ne. Take it easy.
十分気楽にやってますよ。勉強好きでもありませんし。それより金曜日の無断欠席についてですけど。
ああ、あれね。大丈夫。お家には連絡入れてないから。たった1日のボイコットなんて普通だものね。しきくんだってその方が都合が良かったでしょ？
Strange. Miss Noelle flashes a devious smile as she utters something I'd never expect to hear from a teacher. My savior. This must be what saved me from the full weight of Akiha's fury. Actually, isn't Miss Noelle being a bit too lenient for a teacher?
あ、しきくんたら頭固いんだ。先生は不真面目なわけじゃありません。生徒の自主性を尊重してのことです。だってみんなこんなにも若くて美味しそうなんですもの。 1日ぐらい背伸びして遊びに行くのは仕方のないことだと思うの。
Yeah, I don't think students should be playing hooky.
いえ、遊びに行っていたとかそういうんじゃなくて。
Sorry, I had to pop my thumb real quick.
なんて冗談よ。分かってます分かってます。例の貧血でしょ。真面目な四季君が火遊びをするわけないものね。
Gee, a very apt phrase to use there.
それで体の方は大丈夫？痛いところとか残ってない？
It sounds like she was genuinely worried about me. So, well, actually wasn't too far off the mark with her joke, but I won't be correcting her.
貧血の方はなんとか。今朝は特に調子がいいです。
さあ、それはよかった。じゃあ今日から気楽な学生生活に戻れるわね。ところで、慢性的な貧血という話だけど、四季君はいつからそういう体質なの？やっぱり生まれつき？
生まれつきではないんです。子供の頃に事故に遭って、それ以来というか。
まあ、それは気の毒に。それで運動をしなくなったり、食欲が薄くなったりしたのね。それで。
はい？
My voice slips out at the unexpected question. Miss Noel licks her glossed lips and speaks.
だから、どんな事故だったの？と聞いたの。
Well, you see, Miss Noel, I actually can't remember. I have some... But...
体がおかしくなるぐらいの怪我だったんでしょ？やっぱりすごく痛くて、泣きわめくほど怖かったのよね。それこそ、一度死んで生まれ変わってしまうぐらいに。
An indescribable dread takes hold of me. Not from her insensitivity, it's been obvious from day one that she's a busybody, and I don't think she's great at reading the room. What makes me hesitate is I don't remember a thing about the
ただ
accident.
の事故ですよ。こうして無事だし、大したことじゃありません。そろそろ時間だし、失礼します。
Pow. I bow before moving past Miss Noel.
四季君、
I turn around in response to hearing my name.
体調がいいのなら、今日からしっかりね。これ以上、無断欠席はしない方が身のためよ。
It's with a little heart. Oh, for the wink. The returnee from France winks before leaving for the faculty room. I thought I'd be the first one here, but a few of my classmates are already in the room.
早いな、遠野。金曜どうしたん？
You know, it's the weirdest thing. A woman I killed tracked me down and forced me to fight with her.
おはよう。金曜は体調不良。そっちは朝練終わり？
そうそう。放課後の部活動だけじゃなく、朝練まで自重しろって話になってきてさ。首相を交代したばっかだってのに、こんなんじゃ統率取れねえよ。
Even the sports clubs are feeling the effects of all this vampire business. Though that'll change soon. That stuff is over now. Things should go back to normal. 5 minutes till homeroom. Just as I'm bracing myself for a full day of classes...
やっほー、サボりまー、おはようございます。
A voice from behind sends my peaceful morning shattering into 1,000 pieces.
やっす、不良くん。金曜日はナイス無断欠席でしたね。おかげで今朝また一段と元気ありそう。なんだよ、金土日と寝込んでたんじゃねえの？
寝込んでないし、貧弱でもない。
Yeah, I met a really pretty woman.
金曜日はたまたま気分が悪くなっただけで家に帰ったら回復したよ。面倒なんでそのまま学校は休んだけど。
マジか。あの豪華なお屋敷でのんびりアンニュイライフとか、たった3日でお貴族様の仲間入りかよ。相変わらず気も太いっつうか順応性高いっつうか、ほんと住めば都なのな遠野は。めちゃくちゃ羨ましくねえ。
Arihiko puts up a brave front. I could probably learn a thing or
言
two
っと
from
くけど
him.
慣れてないぞ。お前な、あの家がどれだけでかいか見てないから。有彦、遠野の屋敷知ってるのか？
うんにゃ、知らぬ。あんだけ高いところにあって、かつ周りは塀と林だろ。敷地の中に入らねえと見えねえだろ。いや、デバガメ根性で見たいけどよ。でもほら、オタク、セキュリティとかおすごいんでしょ？
俺が知るか。ああ、いや、恵子さんの話じゃ年に数回泥棒騒ぎがあるらしいけど、遠野邸に警察が駆けつけたことなんかないって言ってたし。お前だって丘の上の屋敷に泥棒が入ったなんて話聞いたことないだろ。
お前、それ年に数回賊が押し入るのに警察が来ないって、それやばくね？あり地獄っぽくね？
They were eaten by a ghost.
どこが？
If they're catching the burglars before the cops can even get to them, wouldn't that mean the place's security is top notch?
いやだからよ、そもそも外に出てきてねえんじゃねえの？その泥棒さん。
なるほど。それならどんな噂も広まらないか。
We nod our heads in agreement. Afraid of where this train of thought might lead us, we quickly decide to change the subject.
そうそう、土曜の事故現場、もう見たか？北口駅前の大火事。地下からの出火だったって話。
Yeah, Arihiko, I did. Yeah, I decided to take a nice walk yesterday and happened to look at it and happened to see it.
いや、まだ見てない。話だけは聞いているけど。
俺、北口に改装前のデパートあっただろ。あの前にあった公園がごっそり地下に陥没してる。あれひでえぜ。元に戻すの1年はかかるんじゃねえかな。でもまあ、悪いことばかりじゃない。警備員やらテレビ局やらが押し寄せてるんで、北口のバカども、なりを潜めやがったからな。
そうなのか。じゃあ、倉見橋駅のホテルの話は？
倉見橋のホテルって、あのドームホテル？ああ。そういえばあっちでも火災があったんだっけ？北口の壊れっぷりがすげえんで忘れてたわ。
I can't blame Arihiko for feeling so indifferent about it. An incident of that scale, which claims so many lives, is still just a story from another town. We live in a time where we're flooded with news. Even when we hear something terrible, it's quickly overridden by the next tragedy.
何にせよ、物騒なのは変わらねえってことか。そういうお前さんもどうなんだよ。遠野は中学からこっち、貧血持ちのくせに学校だけは休まなかったじゃねえか。ま、登校した瞬間に帰るっていう離れ技は何度かあったけどな。
それと似たようなものだよ。交差点あたりまでは登校したんだけど、そこで気分が悪くなって帰ったんだ。
弓塚といいお前といい、最近素行が悪いんじゃないか？
Did they actually... Why is this trans... Okay, I don't know what he actually says, but he can't have said Breaking Bad in the original.
素行が悪いっていうのは否定しないけど、 弓塚さん、どうかしたのか?
She no longer exists.
木曜からずっと欠席。今朝も来てね。あいつもずっと優等生してたからな。いい加減テンパってたのかもしれん。しかし振り点だから。
Wait, could she have been attacked by Vlav before we got to him? Arihiko certainly has a way with words.
おっと、じゃ俺はこれで。さらばだ。金曜サボった分真面目に勉学に励むがいい。
Arihiko hurries out of the room. He seems excited about something. I'm guessing he's going to hide out in the nurse's office. It's his turn to ditch class, it seems. Hey, Alice. No, don't go after the cords. I keep telling you this. The moment lunch break begins, Arihiko reemerges, yawning. It's obvious he's been sleeping this whole time.
よく寝た。
Lazy.
殿、飯食おうぜ、飯。
I'm positive Arihiko's mind runs on an endless loop. Eat, sleeps, repeat.
そりゃ飯は当然のように食べるけど、いいのか、俺なんかに構って。
あ？先輩とランチだ。
What the? Wait, why is my video Enclave here? Why is your video feed not working? Okay, something's up with okay, for some reason something's up with the bit rate. Okay, at least on... Okay. Okay, it seems like it... Okay, it seems like things are working again. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Okay, Arihiko pulls a sour face at my question. She must have turned him down today. We eat lunch together. Arihiko's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after his nap.
宗谷駅前で検索と。何の進展会もねえな。
Phone in hand, he scours the web, looking for new information. Being disconnected from the world for even a few hours is a life or death matter. You'd think he was just addicted to his phone like every other teenager, but Arihiko's cut from a different cloth. To him, this isn't just a way of killing time. He's looking for ammunition to help him survive each night he spends prowling downtown.
はあ、また定番のコンビニレジ強盗ですか。店員刃物で腹部を刺され重傷、犯人はアルコール依存症。うへ、痛そう。 酔っ払いに話通じねえもんな。やっぱ買い物は通販に限りますな。
Arihiko continues to work his way through his lunch as he messes around on his phone. The modern version of a father reading the paper during dinner. But now isn't the time for societal critiques.
アリヒコ、食事時にその手のニュース読み上げるの楽しいか？
楽しくねえですよ。けど世間に興味を持たない間抜けな友人のために世の中の物騒さを知らしめなきゃならんでしょ。聞いてますか、遠野くん。北口は倒壊するわ、酔っ払いは人を刺すわ、無差別に人を殺す通り魔はいるわ。他人事じゃ。
それは確かに。でも通り魔事件はもう起きないんだ。北口の事故はどうしようもないけど、それ以外はいつも通りってことだろ。
そうなの？通り魔って捕まったんだ。
いや、捕まってはいないだろうけど。
Yeah, no, I just killed the guy. Culprit is already dead. There'll be no more tacky headlines in the news about a modern-day vampire roaming the streets, nor will anyone be killed so senselessly.
ともかく、もうあんなふざけた事件は起きないし、犠牲者も出ないってこと。街は元に戻ったんだよ。
しかし犠牲者は出ると思うぜ、遠野。
Someone's stomping upstairs.
出ないよ。なんで断言できるんだよ、アリヒコ。
だっておい、今朝で9人目の死体が発見されたって今ニュースで流れてる。
What? Arihiko shows me the screen of his phone. I can't believe my eyes. The site has a new update on the murders with a picture of the north side of Soya Station.
マジかよ。ここいつも行ってる映画館の裏じゃねえか。
待て、もう一度よく見せてくれ。
I take Arihiko's phone from his hand. It's not some crackpot theory or random hypothesis. Ninth victim of serial killer confirmed by police at press conference is emblazoned on the phone screen.
そんな。
The revelation has me stunned into silence. Vlav is dead. I killed him myself. Then why? How could there be more bodies drained of blood turning up?
しかし現代の吸血鬼か。相手が美人のお姉さんなら座れちゃってもいいんだがね。
Get your mind out of the gutter, my man.
美人の吸血鬼。
Arihiko's words are like ice against my skin. I wouldn't mind getting sucked. He's obviously kidding, but it doesn't feel like a joke to me.
事件はまだ終わっていない。
The discovery of a new victim means there's still a vampire in our midst. And if we were to use the process of elimination, who that vampire is should be abundantly clear. Vlav is gone, which leaves only one vampire remaining. Do you really think it's Arcueid? The same woman who went out of her way to avoid hurting anyone, or avoid any people getting hurt during her fight with Vlav? Class has come to an end, and school finishes for the day. Or maybe I should say school was over before I knew it. The worst possible assumptions had clouded my mind. Yeah. Man, what's up with the... Yeah, what's up with the internet at the moment? Hang on. Okay, okay. I think it's working now. Okay, good. The worst possible assumptions had clouded my mind. By the time I realized it, I was sitting alone in an empty classroom.
通り魔殺人はまだ続いている。
Before, I wouldn't have given it a second thought, but she said it herself. She's never killed any humans. I can't see her lying to me about that.
ニュースが間違いなのか、それとも
Only Arcueid would know the answer to that question. Okay, at least Shiki is like... Okay, no. Arcueid is not the type of vampire to hurt someone. If I could just find her, I'm sure the pieces would all fall into place. That's why I don't understand what I'm thinking. This is no longer any of my business. When I finished off Love, I went back to my old life. I did my job. My part of this should be over. I have no reason to dive back in. Why would I go back to all that craziness of my own volition? I should just go on home. Keep walking down this path as if nothing ever happened. I'll go home. That has to be the next best alternative. Though, I've been taught since I was little to always choose the best option. Alco!
どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
YouTube's being weird. Actually, anything I have internet related right now is being weird. Okay, but yeah, it should be fine now. Alco actually acting like a mature adult.
そうだ。
Kind of weird to see her being so wizened after how immature she was in
何
Mihoyo.
もしないって選択だけはしちゃいけない。
But I like it. Even the selfish and immature Alco is able to mature. Those words saved my life. I've always tried to live by them. So I can't pretend like this has nothing to do with me. This isn't over. Now that I've gotten myself involved, it's my responsibility to see this through to the end. I leave the school. Although I don't have any idea where she could be, I still have the key to her apartment. So I'll start there.
いないか。
The apartment looks the same as when I last left it, but Arcueid is nowhere to be seen. There are signs of that she's been here, though. I'm relieved that she hasn't just disappeared into thin air.
いいさ。そう簡単に捕まえられるなんて思ってない。
Shiki?
とにかく今は行動はあるのみだ。
I could wait for her here, but there's no knowing if she'll be coming back. I'll probably have to look for her in town, just like how I first met her. At the very least, she's very distinctive. The sun sets over the city, paving the way for night to reveal itself. I take a look around all of the major spots, but I don't manage to catch a hint of Arcueid.
どうでもいい時はひょこひょこ歩いてたくせに、どうしてこういう時に見つからないんだ。
What do I do? It's still early in the evening. I'll... A choice! I'll continue looking. We only met by chance in the first place. It's not like we're on good enough terms that we know exactly where to find each other either. If I don't want to rely on sheer coincidence to find her, I'll have to rely on my own 2 feet and a bit of intuition.
そうだよな。人に会いに行くっていうのはそういうことだ。
In a time when no one had a cell phone in their pocket, if a person didn't turn up to a pre-designated meeting spot, you could figure out where they'd be based on their principles and lifestyle habits. It wasn't some kind of feral instinct, but something uniquely human that anyone could do, even in the age saturated by mobile phones. Unfortunately, there's a limit to how far I could search. I'd be better off focusing on the residential area or the shopping district.
よし。
After some deliberation, I decide on the shopping district. On my way over, I make sure to keep an eye out as I pass the north and south exits of Soya Station. If she's still here in town, I'll find her. Whatever crowd was between us, I know I'd recognize her in an instant.
いや、ないわ。
Immediately gives up. It turns out my intuition sucks. Every time I feel like I'm about to find her, every time I think she's going to be around the next corner of the station, I wind up empty-handed. It's been a while since I felt this useless. Actually, maybe the first time it's ever been this bad. I've always tried to avoid overexerting myself since I never knew when my anemia might flare up. Makes me wonder why I thought the search might be worthwhile, considering I had absolutely no guarantee I'd
でも
find her.
夜はこれからが本番だし。
My phone buzzes. I wonder who it could be. Arihiko? I look to see.
四季さん、急いでお屋敷に帰ってきてくださいますか？なぜかというと、突然のお客様がいらっしゃいまして。とても素敵な四季さんのガールフレンドを名乗る外国人の女性と、
A stunningly beautiful foreign woman is here calling herself your
朝の一
girlfriend.
見だけでなく、四季様がお帰りにならないことに不機嫌だった秋葉様とかけます。その心は？
It's a strange text from Kohaku.
は？
Okay, that would okay. If I was in Shiki's position, that would also be my exact initial reaction. My mind goes blank. Does that mean Arcueid is at the Tono Mansion? I immediately conjure up the worst case scenario, though my wits refuse to accept it. Stupid. Why didn't I realize it earlier? What made me think I could use common sense to pin down someone like Arcueid?
にしても意味不明すぎるだろう。
Okay, I'm still gonna go back because I want to see what the alternative is. Like a hare in flight, I race off towards the Tono estate. I don't even want to imagine what Arcueid could be spouting off to Akiha. And trying to picture Akiha's reaction as me genuinely scared for my life. Okay, I need to see... Let's see what the other option was. Wait, I could have just rewound. Honestly, though, that is pretty much the more appropriate answer. It's 7 o'clock. This has always been a quiet street, but once night falls, it's almost completely silent. I'm about to press the call button to get the gate unlocked when I remember that it's just before dinner. I'm sure Kohaku and Hisui are in the kitchen right now, and I don't want to bother them. I'll use the key card. I have to get through the side gate. It had left my mind completely. I remember what happened this morning as I passed through the gate. Could Akiha still be angry about leaving me in a hurry? No way, she's not a kid. Yeah, wait, she's not. She's not an adult.
いや、大人じゃあるまいし。
Okay, yeah, like she might be very well put together, but she does have a mean and angry streak.
そう簡単に収まってるとは思えないぞ。
If anything, all this time has probably only let her anger simmer and boil. Running away from my perfectionist sister has likely lit an unquenchable flame inside her that will continue raging until it's doused. She's definitely not someone you want to make an enemy of. But it's been 12 hours since these shenanigans this morning. Comparing her anger to a balloon about to burst would be a grievous understatement.
ちょっと頭痛い。自称吸血鬼だって言い張る女より うちの妹の方が迫力あるとか。
I mean, to be fair, Arcueid is far more jovial than Akiha. As I mull over the mess I'm in, well, it's not like things will get any better with me standing here shaking in my boots. I brace myself for whatever calamity is awaiting me and open the door.
ただいま。
I enter the lobby, trying to sound as natural as possible. That's strange. I can hear voices from the parlor. It's just before dinner. It's odd that anyone would be in the parlor at this time. Kohaku should be in the kitchen. I can't exactly see Hisui and Akiha chatting with one another.
秋葉のやつ、琥珀さんとお茶でも飲んでるのかな。
Either that or we have a visitor. Just as I'm about to head over to the parlor and find out for myself, Hisui exits the room with an exhausted expression on her face. The poor girl. Could she be coming to greet me after hearing me arrive home? Something about her expression seems off, like she's gloomier than
遅くな
usual.
ったけど、ただいま翡翠。
And now she has a disapproving look on her face. Hisui stares at me blankly. She doesn't even give me a welcome home.
何かあった？気のせいか怒っているように見えるんだけど。
四季様にお客様です。
Oh?
先ほどから居間でお待ちですので、どうぞお急ぎください。
俺に客？
Just... That's one thing I love about the character designs so far around this game, especially with the facial expressions. Even with how generally unexpressive Hisui is, you can tell that she's just from like the subtle bits of her facial expression, you can still tell that she's very, very not happy with Shiki at the moment. Hisui
お
nods.
かしいな。俺を訪ねに来るやつなんていないはずだけど。引っ越したことを知ってるのはアリヒコぐらいだし、最近知り合いになったやつもいな。
Ah, sorry. Getting a small drink of water. Wait a second. Wait a second. A terrible feeling washes over me.
翡翠、それどんなやつ？
金色の髪をした綺麗な女性の方です。
A blonde-haired woman. She's quite pretty.
な、
There's only one person I know who fits that description. My reflexes take over. I break into a dash, sprinting towards the parlor as fast as my legs will carry me.
何がどうなってんだ？
I swing open the door and enter the room of death. But it's already too late. There's no stopping this now. My end is nigh.
あら、お帰りなさい、兄さん。今夜もまた定例通り遅かったですね。
Sorry.
あ、やっと帰ってきたな、こいつめ。妹さんばかりか私まで待たせるとか、やっぱり普段から横暴なのね。
Okay, Shiki is actually about to die. I think it'd be hilarious if there was like a dead end here. They stare at me with polar opposite expressions on their faces. Akiha is looking at you like you're walking garbage. Arcueid is just happy to be there. I know what this feeling is. This must be how a captive feels when they're forced to plead for their life with a gun pointed at the back of their head like in an action movie. Words fail me. I'm unable to come up with any kind of response. I can't believe Arcueid and Akiha are face to face in the same room. They're both sitting on the sofa like there's nothing amiss at all. Though unlike Arcueid, who seems perfectly calm, Akiha has bitter contempt written all over her face. Akiha glances at
ど
me.
うしたんですか、兄さん。そんなところに立っていないで、どうぞこちらに来て座ってください。
Shiki, run. No way. No way. I inch a little closer to the sofa, but the feeling that I might be slapped by a knife... Why did I say slapped? But the feeling that I might be stabbed by a knife keeps me from moving any nearer.
ここでいいです。
いいですね.
それよりアキハ、こいつはだな、
How do I even begin to explain? I doubt I can get away with calling her a classmate. Saying she's someone I met in town would probably just make things worse.
その
Just say she's like a foreign exchange student. Dude, just say she's like a German foreign exchange student or something. Yeah. Akiha, she is a she's a foreign exchange student from Germany. And, well, we just kind of became friends. I didn't expect her to visit without me here. Akiha's glitter pierces into me. I can tell I'm not going to be let off the hook here. I don't think there's anything I can say that'll dig me out of this hole. Still, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or disturb what little peace I found. There's got to be another way. There's got to be a way to explain. What's she even doing here in the first place? How could she sit there smiling away like that? Because she's an idiot. Because she's dumb. And that's why we love her. She's goofy. She is the funny vampire. I can't imagine Akiha would let someone she's never met before into the parlor.
その前にいいかな。こいつなんて言ってやってきたの？
Arcueid tilts her head in confusion.
兄さんのご友人ではないんですか？この方はそう自称しましたが。
ああ、うん。友人といえば友人。
Shiki, you're giving the implication that she's your girlfriend?
そうですか。私にも紹介していただけると嬉しいわ。兄さんのご友人でしたら、無下にお帰りいただくわけにはいきませんし。
She is very clearly angry.
それはですね、アキハさん。
I mumble.
友人ね。
Arcueid works her way into the conversation, probably tired of being ignored.
あんなひどいことしておいて、そういうこと言うんだ。私、まだ体が痛いんだけど。
Arcueid, are you trying to get him killed with the innuendo? My head whirls. Now this is some vertigo. Lord, I find myself decoupling from reality with astonishing speed. Ah yes, dissociating to avoid a difficult situation, Shiki.
それはどういった意味でしょうか？私の兄が身体面、あるいは精神面においてあなたに危害を加えたとでも？
Actually, yes, both of those things.
失礼ですが、ご自分がどれほど信憑性のない発言をしているか理解していますか？ええ、バッチリね。でも安心して、そんなのもう気にしていないから、ちゃんと体で返してもらったし。
Okay, given that it's Arcueid, I'm also half convinced that she has no actual idea what she's doing.
なので、どうぞお構いなく。私は四季を誘いに来ただけだもの。すぐに出かけるわ。ね、そうでしょ、四季。
Just the dead look on Akiha's face. Crap, this is bad. The more she talks, the shorter my lifespan gets.
Yeah!
I force a laugh as I make for Arcueid, grabbing her arm.
ちょっと四季、急に何するのよ。
There's no time to listen to her complaints. Dragging Arcueid by the arm, I bolt out of the parlor, leaving a stunned Akiha behind. Hey, Hisui. Hisui's waiting in the lobby. I wonder what she's thinking, seeing me with Arcueid in tow. I have the hunch I won't like the answer, so I'll worry about that later.
お出かけですか、四季様。
不本意ながらすっごく申し訳ないんだけど、玄関の鍵は開けておいてほしい。
はい、かしこまりました。 どうぞ大変お気をつけて。
He's sweeping a picture perfect maid as usual. I hurried past the bowing Hisui and tried to get away from the mansion as fast as possible.
痛いな。いきなり外に連れ出すなんて式って常識ないんじゃない？
I've never heard a stupider question in my life. Okay, yeah, I know Shiki can be a jerk, but I mean, to be entirely fair, that is an entire... His reaction to this is completely warranted. Arcueid is nearly getting hit. With the way Arcueid is talking, she is pretty much priming him to get killed by Akiha.
お前こそ何のつもりだよ。真正面からうちの屋敷に来るなんて正気じゃないぞ。もしかして俺の生活をぶっ壊すつもりなのか、このバカ女。
You, you dumb one.
バカ女ってあなた私をバカにしてるの？
Shark teeth. Shark teeth. Hoo-ah. Darn it.
バカをバカって言ってんだから、それ以外何があるって言うんだバカ。反論があるなら聞いてやるから言ってみろ。
I'm calling an idiot an idiot. Though, in fairness to Arcueid, she probably legitimately has no idea what she probably had no idea what the ramifications of her words were. I'm actually livid. I've never been in such an infuriating situation before. I have to give her a piece of my mind, otherwise I won't be able to let this one go.
何よ。私は式に会いに来ただけじゃない。そんなに怒られるようなことしてないと思うけど。
会いに来ただけって、アルクエイド、お前本気で言ってるのか？
そうだけど何よ。何の問題もないからね。魔眼も使ってないし、極めて人間的なアプローチしたんだし。式の妹さんにだって式の目のことも私が吸血鬼であることもちゃんと黙っててあげたんだから。
そこは言わなくてもわかる。そっちの話に関しちゃ常識ありそうだからな、お前。
わかんないな。それじゃあなんでそんなに怒ってるのよ、あなたは。
You know, $5 says that Arcueid legitimately didn't understand what she was insinuating with her comment.
そっちがあんまりにも考えなしだからだよ。この際だからはっきり言っておくぞ。周囲の目を考える、自分の特徴を自覚する。頼むからもうちょっとおとなしめに行動すること。お前はいるだけで目立つんだから。
Phew. Wait, why does she have cat ears? I feel better now that I've said what needed to be said. Though Arcueid, who'd been on the receiving end of it, seems the complete opposite. She glares at me like a pouting cat.
何よ、勝手なことばっかり言って。
Okay, I think that was just Shiki superimposing cat ears on her head.
だいたいいるだけで目立つってどうしてよ。私、外見は人間と変わらないでしょ。
I mean, yes, you do. Except you would be what is generally considered 10 out of 10, and you are also a European woman in Japan, so you do stand out quite a bit, especially being blonde.
美人はいるだけで目立つんだよ。人間であるかどうかなんて関係ない。
I replied to her frankly. Maybe it's because I gave her a straight answer, but Arcueid readily accepts it.
まあ、こっちも言い過ぎた。こういう修羅場は初めてだったから、気が動転してたんだ。
別にいいよ。悪かったのは私の方みたいだし。
Okay, two people actually talking about two characters in something and they're actually talking things through instead of like beating around the bush. Arcueid bows her head in a show of honest remorse. Somehow I'm starting to feel guilty for thinking she may have had some ulterior motive.
で、どうしてうちに来たりしたんだ？いや、俺もお前に話があったから渡りに船だけど。
そうなの？私は単に四季はどうしてるのかなって様子を見に来ただけなんだけど。
She legitimately just wanted to see him.
そうか、興味本位か。次は木の陰にでも隠れてこっそり見に来てくれ。できるだけ誰にも見つからないように。できれば俺にも見つからないように。
You don't have to be a jerk, Shiki. I feel exhausted all of a sudden. Though this isn't exactly the first time I've been caught up in one of Arcueid's little whims. And the fact that she didn't tell Akiha anything means she at least put some consideration into my position here.
ともかくだ。真剣に話したいことがある。ここじゃ落ち着かないから場所を変えたいんだけど。
いいけど、話って何よ？
すぐにわかる。そうだな。そろそろ人気もなくなるし、公園あたりがいいかもしれない。
I motion towards the road and start walking. Arcueid tilts her head in curiosity, but follows after me without a word.
話って何なの、四季？
吸血鬼のこと。お前、前に言ったよな。
Arcueid nods.
それじゃあ、今朝のニュースで新しい犠牲者が出たっていうのは知ってるか？昨日の夜に通り魔に殺されて血を抜かれたらしいんだけど。
She narrows her eyes. I can tell I've stepped on thin ice. One wrong step will be the end of me.
それで
I swallow nervously. Arcueid peers right at me. Her eyes tell me that she's ready to pounce at the slightest movement.
おかしいじゃないか、アルクエイド。ブローブは死んだ。なのに、どうしてまだ吸血鬼騒ぎが起こる？まさかとは思うけど、あれは。
If this is your doing, I...
もう、そんなわけないでしょ。それは私じゃなくて、他の吸血鬼の仕業よ。
Arcueid interjects, slicing through the tension. A strange happiness wells up in my throat, but I shouldn't get my hopes up yet. It's great that it was another vampire, but there's still a couple things that don't make sense.
他の吸血鬼の仕業って、そう次から次へと吸血鬼が出てくるのか？
まさか、あの事件は初めから一人の吸血鬼の仕業よ。この町を食い物にする新しい吸血鬼なんてやってこないし、ブローブだってあの事件には全く関係ないわ。
So wait, there's just another vampire. There was just another vampire that actually did the killings, and Vlav just so happened to be in the area. Oh, you see, I was already going after another vampire, but Vlav just happened to be in the area, so I wanted to take care of him. Vlav was never connected?
関係ないって、それどういう意味だよ？
言った通りの意味だけど、もう四季って切れるようでどこか抜けてるのね。いい？確かにブローブは吸血鬼だったけど、あいつは人の血を吸っていた？
吸っていたかって当然だろ。あいつはあんなに人間を片っ端から燃やして。
So that's it. How did I not notice something so obvious? Bodies left behind by the serial killer had been drained of blood, but they were otherwise unscathed. But Vlad was different. He burned his victims, he drank their blood too, but draining them was never his modus operandi. Come to think of it, the victims at the hotel weren't connected to the serial murders. They were treated as casualties of a fire. Which means Vlad must not have had any connection to the serial murders to begin with.
待ってくれ。じゃあ吸血殺人事件は何なんだ？一体どこの誰があんな真似をしてやがる？
だから あの事件はグローブとは別の吸血鬼の仕業なの。私はその吸血鬼を殺すためにこの町にやってきた。
Oh,
グ
okay.
ローブが来た理由はちょっとあやふやになってきたわね。
Okay, so Arcueid was just going after this other vampire, and Flav just so happened to catch wind of Arcueid coming here, so he came after her.
てっきり私を追いかけてきた一人かと思ったけど、グローブにはそれだけの理性、使徒社会における協調性はなかったみたいだし。ま、そのあたりはもういっか。グローブは死んだんだし。とにかくグローブとこの町に救っている吸血鬼は別物よ。グローブは正真正銘無関係の第三者。私、標的がグローブだなんて言わなかったでしょ。
She never explicitly said that she was going after Vlav.
グローブにとっての標的は私だったけど、私にとっての標的はこの町で通り魔と言われている吸血鬼だけよ。
Huh.
シキ、まさかとは思うけど、ものすごく単純な勘違いしてたとか？
I swallowed nervously. Arcueid's right, though. She said her goal was to kill the vampire, which I had just assumed was Vlav.
それじゃあ何か。あの夜グローブと殺し合ったのは無意味なことだったっていうのか。
無意味じゃないわ。シキは私の代わりに戦ってくれたんじゃない。ま、シキさえ私を殺さなかったらその必要もなかったでしょうけど。
She says something like that, but also just has the nicest smile on her face. And also think about it like this. You did manage to help take out an incredibly dangerous supernatural being. The exhaustion hits me such that it feels like my knees will give out at any second. It was all pointless. Killing Vlav changed nothing in the end. There's still a vampire in town, and even if it was just for a split second, I tried to pin the blame on Arcueid. Crap. Disappointment and self-loathing swirl around in my head.
悪い。しつこいけど、最後に確認させてくれ。グローブは吸血鬼殺人には関係なくて、ここ1ヶ月街を騒がしているのは別の吸血鬼ってことだな。
うん、そういうこと。でも、これは私が済ませる問題だから、シキは気にしないでいいよ。そんなことより、ねえ。
Well, since she doesn't have to worry about someone actively hunting her, she can sleep and recover her strength. And at that point, whoever the second vampire is would get absolutely obliterated by her. I need to figure out what the physics on... I need to figure out the physics on her causing that massive crater. Arcueid looks up at me, a wide smile brimming across her face.
なんだよ。言っておくけど、ものすごく余裕がないぞ、俺。
Shiki, she's about to ask you out on a date. My feelings are all over the place right now. Anything she says could knock me right off my feet.
ちょっとした疑問よ。二人でグローブを倒した時のこと。
あ。
ねえ、なんで3分だったの？
Were you not aware that that I only had a few minutes before I froze to death?
なんでって何が？
シキ、3分しか時間はないって言ってたじゃない。どうして3分なのか全然わからなくて。
あのな、言っただろ。あそこは海の底みたいなものだって。だから3分しか無理だって言ったんだ。
海の底だと3分なの？
That was a close one. If I was feeling like my usual self, I would have shot back with something snarky.
まあ、そうだよ。人間はお前みたいなのと違って、それぐらいしか水に潜っていられないの。
何よ、私だってちょっとは寒かったわ。海の底だって何時間も潜ってたら退屈だし。
I was chilly, she says. Meanwhile, I genuinely thought I was dead.
下を向いてどうしたの？
いや、 ちょっとめまいがして。気にしなくて、いや、気にしてくれ。実際海に潜ったら3分だって怪しいからな。人間はか弱いんだから、頑丈なお前と一緒にするな。吸血鬼は吸血鬼同士、我慢比べでもやっててくれ。
So she doesn't understand. Well, I mean, it kind of tracks. She sounds, or kind of tracks that that if she barely understands how humans normally act, then she also wouldn't understand normal human limitations. I wave Arcueid off with one hand as I cradle my head with the other.
今さら言っても始まらないか。お前たちが化け物じみてるのは身に染みてるし。いえ、ブローブのことは俺がバカだった。それよりあ
But Arcueid, I call myself and begin to say something, but when I look up, she looks angry. What? No, she... What's with that expression on her face?
何よ、式の意地悪。どうせ私は人間じゃないですよーだ。
It's not like I'm... Arcueid turns the other way in a huff and starts walking.
おい、ちょっと待て。どこ行く気だよ。
I'm going back to your house to make you look even worse in front of your sister.
人間な式には関係ない。ついてこないでよね。
Arcueid storms off without even a glance in my direction. She seems genuinely upset. Man, where's she going? I must have struck a nerve. Looking back, maybe I was being a little unfair.
いや、でも、そんな悪口言ってないぞ。
Did I? Considering how mad she is, I feel like I must have earned it. Like, really earned it. In fact, I kind of feel like a jerk.
ああ、もう、悪かった。今のは俺が悪かった。だから待て、止まれってば。
I rush after the white silhouette in front of me. Not just because I feel guilty. In case she's forgotten, we still have important things to discuss. Arcueid walks through the night, full of purpose. Her golden hair flutters in the air. She looks the same as she did when I first laid eyes on her. The same as when she first faced Flav amid all that collapsed rubble. Gone is the tenderness I felt a second ago. She has the air of a hunter stalking its prey, her movements now sharp and deliberate. Arcueid doesn't respond. She continues marching forward.
話を聞けって、どこに行くつもりだよ。
The White Huntress doesn't stop. Can't back down. But I also can't manage to do anything else for now, so I follow behind her silently. Tap, tap, tap. Walk in complete silence except for the sound of our footsteps. Till, that is, Arcueid comes to an abrupt halt and turns toward
つ
me.
いてこないで。あなたみたいな普通の人間にいられると迷惑だってわからない。
人間で悪かったな。何をしているのか教えてくれたら帰るよ。
式には関係ないからほっといて。
Arcueid twirls around and begins walking again. Well, dang. Looks like I'm getting the silent treatment again. We leave the shopping district and come to an underpass when Arcueid stops suddenly.
見つけた。
Arcueid's voice is cold. She sounds like a completely different person. A shiver trickles down my spine. Even from behind, I can tell by her posture how ready she is to fight.
何を
Doing. I don't say it. I know exactly what she's doing without having to ask. Pure, unbridled hostility flows from her, freezing the air.
おい、何考えてるんだ、お前。
Arcueid doesn't answer. Her gaze is fixed on a perfectly normal-looking man in a suit.
式、メガネを外してあの人間を見てみなさい。
あの人間って、前にいるあの男。
早く。私が何をしているか知りたいのなら質問は後よ。
はあ、あんまり街中で見たくはないんだけど。
I remove my glasses. My temples throb. In exchange for the pain, the lines running across the ground and walls come dimly into view.
確認しておくけど、あなたの線は生物の方がはっきり見える。
ああ、その方がより確かに見える。
でしょうね。あなたは生物だから鉱物の死を理解できない。形の上の摩耗というカテゴリーの結果は見えても、鉱物たちにとっての終わりは見えない。そのためには彼らと同じ視点、同じ価値観を得なくてはいけない。死を見るためには命を理解しないといけないから。それじゃあついでに聞くけど、今の式から見てあの人間はどんな感じ？
I don't see how he'd be any different. I step back by reflex. What is that? Every human being has lines on them. Most only have a few, though, which gently trace their bodies in geometric patterns. What is that? The lines are scrawled across his entire body, like bulging veins and arteries. The man's covered in them. I can't even see what he looks like under the... Oh. I want to throw up. He's backward. It's not a person with lines. It's as if the lines themselves have assumed a human form.
式にはどう見える？私としては式には普通の人間に見えていてほしいんだけど。
I'm unable to give Arcueid an answer. It takes all my focus to not vomit.
そう、残念ね。式はあれにも死を見てしまっているなんて。
あ、なんか普通とは違うけど線は見えてる。
やっぱり死者さえ殺せるのね、あなたは。命があるなしの問題さえ無関係。動いているもの、破壊できるものなら例外なく停止させる。何よ、本当の化け物はあなたの方じゃない。シキが見ている通り、あれはもう人間とは呼べないわ。死という負債も他人の血でごまかし続ける吸血鬼だから。
Arcueid quickens her pace. She makes a beeline for the unexceptional-looking
おい
man.
アルクエイド。
シキはそこにいて。
That dude is not human. The man disappears from sight, perhaps having become aware of Arcueid. Or to be precise, that thing leaped away with inhuman speed. He flees deeper into the safety of the darkness beneath the tracks. Arcueid is already nowhere to be seen. She's left the refuge of the rusted lights to follow the man into the darkness. Oh. I can feel my heartbeat in my ears. It's still early in the evening. A car passes by with its headlights blazing. A train rattles along overhead. Despite all this noise, I lose the sense of anyone around me. Thump! My glasses. I need to get my glasses back on now. If I don't, I'll see something far worse. Something so dark, so terrifying, it'll make the things I've seen pale in comparison. Thump. My body won't move. My eyes eagerly gaze into the darkness as if drawn to the patchwork world that Arcueid has entered. I blink, and silence envelops me. The wind, even the smell of the earth. It's like everything has been frozen in place. Screeching. Under the ice-cold moon. An eerie noise emanates from beyond the shadows. Grinding. I shouldn't be able to see anything, or even hear. Squelching. But I did see it. My eyes catch a glimpse of the moment death meets death. My vision turns vermilion. How is it possible that these eyes see death even in pitch darkness? My glasses. If I don't get them on this man, I think I'll lose it. Fighting off the urge to vomit, I slip on my glasses with trembling hands. Light and sound return. I steel myself and scan my surroundings, but find nothing out of place under the tracks. Nobody around. A couple cars maybe, but it's still just a normal city at night. Pocket of civilization where humans can live, sheltered from danger. An oasis where no harm shall ever befall them. I have trouble breathing. Even with my glasses on, the creature's death lingers in my peripheral vision, making me sick.
Arcueid.
Out of the darkness emerges Arcueid, her footsteps unsteady. She's breathing even harder than I am.
四季そっかまだ残ってたんだ
Arcueid averts her grimacing face and sways past me. Her steps seem weak and frail. To be honest, I still haven't gotten over my own nausea, but seeing Arcueid in such pain, that's now the least of my worries.
待てよ。一体どうしたんだお前。
I grab Arcueid's shoulder as she tries to leave. Arcueid turns slowly, her eyes flat.
大丈夫よ少し疲れただけだから構わないで四季には全然関係がないんだから
バカ、疲れているなら休め。変に汗かいてるし、どう見ても重症だぞ。
I take hold of her arm as I try to control my own breathing.
何よそういう四季だって今にも倒れそうな顔してる
俺のはただの貧血、いつものことだ。人を気にしてる余裕があるなら、自分の体も気遣えよ。
いいのよどうせ気遣っても無駄なんだから
Arcueid's breathing is so weak. It pains me to hear.
まさか、お前、あの時の傷。
I can't finish the question. She got that wound protecting me. Arcueid casts her eyes downward, refusing to answer. That must be a yes.
もう、何度言わせるんだこのバカ。そんな体でおとなしくできないのか。
おとなしくしてるつもりなんだけどな
全然してない。人間離れしてるからって治りきってないのに出歩くやつがいるか。
This is making me realize just how angry I am. I can't let her do this. I can't abandon her no matter how much trouble she is.
お前、本当に何してんだよ。ほら、黙ってないで答えろ。話してくれるまでお前から離れないからな。
I grab her by the shoulders. Her eyes remain downcast, but she manages a slight nod.
もう割としつこいのねあなたっていいわそれじゃあ場所を変えましょうどのみちさっきのも外れだったみたいだし
Arcueid brushes away my hands and spins on her heel. We're not headed for the shopping district, it seems. Instead, she guides me towards the park. We arrive soon enough. Did her injuries heal on the way here? She appears to be back to her usual self.
あっさり元に戻ってるし。もしかしてさっきは油断して傷を負ったとかいうオチじゃないだろうな。
え違うよ傷が治りかけなのは本当だってば
治りか本当じゃないことも言ったってことだよな。
何その言い方すっごくいやらしいんですけど
お前の言動が怪しすぎるんだよ。文句があるならさっき何をしてたのか話してみろ。大方予想はついてるけど何をあんな痛がってたんだ。
さてそれじゃあ式のお望み通り私が何をしていたかを話してあげましょう
She's clearly doing this to change the topic. Then again, this is what I wanted to know. How she's feeling can wait for the time being.
じゃあ確認からさせてくれ。さっきのやつは吸血鬼の手足になってる死者だな。あれの大元がお前の本当の敵。
なんと今度は話が早いのね式
そいつはどうも俺だって少しは頭は回るからね。さっきの話で大体の事情は飲み込めている。
良きかな良きかな。四季の可愛い勘違いはブローブのことだけってことね。
可愛いって言うな。仕方ないだろ。あの時は自分のことだけで手一杯だったんだから。
ふん、自分のことだけで手一杯ね。ま、そういうことにしておいてあげましょう。
Arcueid twirls around like something's fun about all this and peers into my face. What's with her?
いいから話。さっきの男はもうとっくに死んでいたんだな。
そうよ。あれはあいつのしもべだから始末しただけ。下級の使者だったけど、それでも放っておくと人間を殺して力を蓄えられてしまうから。シキ、ホテルで話した吸血鬼の話、覚えてる？
Yep. The dead apostle has further dead apostles under him that serve to go out, bring blood back to their master. Of course, a nod. The ecology of vampires, castellans in the hierarchy of their subjects. Sires hunt and kill humans to turn into their minions. They then hide away while those minions gather blood for them. Arcueid also spoke about the differences between castellans and the older type of vampires. Immortal, weak to the sun, the stereotypical vampire.
それはもう教えてもらった。じゃあ、お前の追っている敵とやらが殺人事件の吸血鬼で間違いないんだな。
ええ、間違いないわ。たとえあいつが手を下したのは最初の一人だけだとしても、そこから発生した死者たちの殺人は全部あいつの成果になる。だから
さっきみたいに街を歩き回って吸血鬼のしもべを探していた。そうすれば親の居場所がわかるのか。
強く親に結びついたしもべならね。けど今のところ外ればっかり。棺、敵の潜伏場所が見つからないのはそれだけ多くの死者を使っているからよ。あいつが自分の手を汚すのは数回だけ。あとは死者にした人間を操って自分は眠っているだけで領地を広げていく。この町の犠牲者は100人を超えている。あなたたちが騒いでいる犠牲者なんて人知れずいなくなった人間の一部分に過ぎないわ。
Hearing it all again makes my blood run cold. 2 days ago I thought Vlav was the cause of all this. Being able to channel all these emotions into killing him is what kept me sane. This time's different. The murders continue. More than 100 victims attacked, drained of blood, and killed by former humans. But then they're robbed of their rest, become walking corpses like that clump of lines, and are made to prowl the town for more victims. It was just 3 days ago. I recall the people annihilated at the hotel. Though I was there too, I wasn't able to witness their final moments. That's why I can only imagine the butchery that took place that night. It's no different now. It's hard to fully accept the notion that there's a vampire out there thirsting for human blood, all for the sake of stretching the boundaries of its domain. But it does beg the question, how would I feel if, without the slightest warning, one of my loved ones was killed in such a horrific way? It's a morbid thing to consider, that's to be sure, but I ponder it for a second. I picture Akiha having her blood drained and being tossed away like garbage. Breath hisses between my teeth as I try to rid myself of the vertigo gnawing at my brain. The very thought of that should enrage me, yet I feel strangely cold. Now's the time to think, not the time to let my emotions run rampant, I tell myself. The fact is, there's a very real possibility that this could come to pass as soon as tomorrow. It's pitiful that I never realized just how much danger we were in, but I can chastise myself for that later.
やっぱり怒ったわね、シキ。私があなたに話したくなかったのは、これは捕食される側、人間にとってどしがたいものだからよ。シキにしてみれば、吸血鬼の行為は認められないものでしょうから。
She's right. Morality and correctness have nothing to do with this. I just can't accept what they do. Even if the victims were complete strangers to me, each of them had a past and a future to call their own. all of which were dashed in an instant. I may not know what those lives were like, but that doesn't make them cheap commodities to be used and discarded. I wouldn't want to die like that, at the whim of some creature. It's just too cruel and wrong. It's also meaningless.
でも安心していいよ、シキ。吸血鬼たちの天敵はこの国にはいないみたいだけど、今は私がちゃんといるんだから。言ったでしょ。私の目的は町を犯している吸血鬼を退治することだって。
Arcueid brightens in a flash, a far cry from her attitude a moment ago. Honestly, her words make me feel a lot better. I know just how incredible she is, how far she'll go to protect humans. She shielded us from Vlov's ice without a thought for herself. That also gives me pause. An obvious question I've had since even before the fight with Vlov.
それがわからない。アルクエイドだって吸血鬼なんだろ。どうしてそんな人間の味方みたいなことをするんだよ。
私、別に人間の味方をしているわけじゃないよ。それ以外にやることがないからやってるだけだもの。
She just has nothing better to do.
ま、そんなことをやっているから狙われるんでしょうけど、そこはそれ、必要経費みたいなものかしら。
Well, I mean, I suppose her highest priority, at least before Shiki killed her, was simply exterminating vampires. So she just focused on that.
いや、お前の言いたいことはまるでわからないけど、その例えだけは間違ってるぞ。
まあまあ、細かいことは気にしないで。そんな引く手あまたヘイトいっぱいな私だったけど、シキがブローブを倒してくれたでしょ。これで障害は何もなくなったわ。あとはこの町に潜んでいる敵を見つけて、なんとか始末してみせるから。シキは今まで通り普通の生活に戻って、私たちなんかに関わらなくていいんだよ。
ああ、うん。そりゃ嬉しいけど。けど。
Are you really sure you'll be okay on your own? The words form in the back of my mind, but I shake my head to send them away. Something must be wrong with me. Why should I care if she winds up getting herself into danger?
シキ？何よ、また難しい顔しちゃって。シキの聞きたい話ってこれで終わりでしょ？他には何もないと思うけど。
I mean, I have about 1,000 more questions, but right now...
バカ。そりゃ難しい顔ぐらいする。
だから気にしなくていいんだって。これからは毎日街を見て回って、もうこれ以上犠牲者は出さないようにするし。それとも、そんなに私の性能を信用できない？
I really don't want to get involved, but protecting this city should be the responsibility of someone who lives here, not Arcueid.
アルクエイド、その、お前の言う敵は強いのか？あのブローブよりもっと。
まさか、ブローブはああ見えてもその一人よ。この町に救った吸血鬼は、ブローブより純度は落ちるわ。
そうか。
断言はできないわね。ちょっと前までの私なら問題なかったと思うけど、今の私は病み上がりだもの。敵の方が力をつけている可能性が高いわ。
Hold on just a second. I nodded along without really thinking about what she said. Arcueid is on the
いやいや、
mend?
風邪でもひいたのかお前。
Are you forgetting about what you did, Shiki?
というか吸血鬼って風邪ひくのか？
ええ、とんでもなく野蛮な通り魔を一つね。
I love that expression.
塔の式っていう名前の悪質なウイルスなんだけど、ご存知かしら？
It's this nasty virus they're calling Shiki Tonho. Have you perchance heard of it?
ああ、いや、それはその、ごめんなさい。
Pretty sure I just kicked the hornet's nest.
冗談よ。式の傷はもう治ってるわ。ただちょっと治すのに想定以上の力を使って疲れてるだけ。痛いのはブローブから受けた傷の方。 こっちはまだ外を塞いでいるだけだから。
I mean, it also probably didn't help that she was still recovering from what Shiki did. Arcueid touches her stomach lightly. I'm responsible for that wound too. She only got it because she protected me. I'm at a loss. All of Arcueid's pain has been my fault. So then why doesn't she hold even the slightest grudge? How can she smile at me so innocently?
やめろよ。せめて傷が治るまでどこかで休んでればいいじゃないか。今さら1日や2日休んだって。
ダメよ。ブローブと戦ったことで敵も私が来たことに気づいているはずだもの。休んだりしたらそれこそ私が弱っていると知らせるようなものだわ。
だからって今夜みたいな真似を続けていくのか。
ええ、敵の居場所がわからない以上、あいつに血を送っている死者を片っ端から潰していくしかない。そうして血の供給源を断てば本体が直に血を吸いに現れる。
それがもし明日だったらどうするんだ。弱っているのを隠したところでそんな体じゃ逆に殺されるようなものなんだろう。
I stopped short of telling her not to push herself and stare at my feet. Arcueid is right. If she shows even a hint of weakness, the vampire will come to kill her regardless. These last 2 days have taught me something. When it comes to fighting, Arcueid can be brutal to the core. Rather than avoiding personal injury, her strategy is all about finding a surefire way to take down her enemy. She prioritizes her objective above all else. She doesn't force herself into believing anything but the truth. Arcueid isn't going to stop. I won't get another chance to talk with her like this if I let her go. She's not scared of death. Why'd she have to smile like that? I could have just not seen that smile if she acted just more like a vampire. It wouldn't feel like this.
どうしたのシキ？体震わせちゃって、もしかしてトイレ？
お前ってや。
She's so carefree about all this. I lift my head. In front of me stands the woman in white. I can't pretend like none of this happened. I don't know what this feeling is, but I know I can't forget the 2 days we've spent together. That's why, if I leave her now only for her to wind up dead tomorrow, I can never forgive myself.
勘弁してくれ。ただでさえ両目が壊れてるのに頭まで壊れかけてる。
I don't want to deal with vampires anymore. The fight with Blob flashes through my mind. Terror still lingers in my bones, enough to send a chill up my spine. It's the same now. This other vampire is supposed to be strong too. There's no need for me to involve myself. Arcueid says she can handle it, so I should just leave it to her. And yet, even though I know that's the logical thing to do, I can't let her do this alone.
ああ、もうどうかしちまったのか俺は。
I kick at the ground. More than anything, I'm mad at just how illogical I'm being.
何？どうしたのシキ？いきなり怒り出しちゃって。
そりゃ怒りたくもなる。なんだって俺はあんな目にあったっていうのにこんなたわごとを口にしようとしているのかって。
The idea of what I'm about to utter makes me dizzy. If I had a mirror in front of me, I'd give my reflection a smack in the face.
落ち着いて。普通じゃないわよ、あなた。
なあ、普通じゃないさ。普通じゃなかったらこんなこととても口にはできないだろう。
Cursing to myself, I scratch at my head like I could drag the words right out. As much as I don't want to believe it, I've already decided. I said as much, didn't I?
もう全然わかんない。ちゃんと説明しなさい。さっきからこんなことって何がこんなことだって言うの？
だからお前の体が治りきるまで手伝ってやるってそう言いたいんだよ俺は。
Arcueid looks taken aback. I finally got it out in a way. Now that I've actually said the words, I start to calm down.
シキ、今の本当？
Very cute. I groan. Even I still can't believe what I just said.
私、ちょっと聞き損ねちゃった。お願いだからもう一度言って。
Another groan. But it's too late to go back now. I stopped being able to lie to myself the second I said it.
早く。私、今のセリフもう一度聞きたい。
She urges me with a voice close to a whisper. Averting my gaze from her beaming face, I try my best to sound angry.
だからアルクエイドが弱ってるのは俺の責任だし、街にはびこってる化け物を放っておけないし、弱っているお前一人じゃ頼りないから、俺でよかったら手伝ってやるって言ったんだ。
シキ。
She's so cute. Arcueid's eyes practically sparkle. She grabs my hand happily and shakes it up and down.
まあ、俺じゃ大した役には立たないだろうけど、いないよりはマシだろ。
シキが手伝ってくれるなら怖いものなんて何もないんだから。
Arcueid continues giving my hand a vigorous shaking. Considering her ridiculous strength, I'm honestly afraid my arm will come out of its socket before long, but I can't bring myself to stop her. How do I put it? She looks so happy. Honestly, truly happy. Seeing that, it makes me feel like maybe I've made the right choice after all, despite how insane it sounds. By the time Arcueid finally releases me from our handshake, it's almost 9. My head hurts thinking about what will happen once I get home, but that won't be for a while, now that I've decided to lend my support. We've got a vampire hunt to
それで
plan.
これからどうするんだ。やっぱり街を歩いて死者を探すのか。
そうね。この町にいる死者を全滅させれば親元の吸血鬼は出てこざるを得なくなるでしょうし、今はそれぐらいしか手はないけど。
Is that okay with you? Her eyes ask.
いいも何も、俺はアルクエイドに付き合うだけだ。餅は餅屋って言うし、専門家に従うよ。
And just as I say it, Arcueid looks at me with a wide grin on her face.
なんだよ。おかしなこと言ったか、俺。
シキ、やけに素直だなって。
Maybe I should start acting a little tougher. I have a feeling she'll be asking crazy stuff of me if I don't draw the line somewhere.
行くぞ。街を回ればいいんだろ。さっきの高架線下とか、もう一度調べてみるか。
死者は互いに食い合わないよう、犠牲者の数を一区間に集中させないよう、それぞれ活動ルートを定めているの。一晩に食事をさせる死者の数は決まっている。今夜はさっきので打ち止めだと思うけど、せっかく四季がいるんだし、もうちょっと探索してみましょうか。
互いに食い合わないようにか。本格的に統率されてるんだな。もっと無差別なものかと思った。
親元の吸血鬼にしてみれば、血液の採集は娯楽じゃなくて生存するための必要作業、仕事だもの。
貴重な労働力ってわけか。でもそれだと向こうも手を打ってこないか。アルクエイドが数を減らしているんだから、ここから先は増員させるか、あるいは死者を引っ込めて姿を隠すとか。
基本的には出し渋る方でしょうね。
Little one, stop biting it. Stop trying to eat my cable. Or my cord.
けど吸血鬼である以上、どうしても他者から血や精を搾取しないと生存していられない。親元は私に狙われていると分かっていても、 最低限の食料を得るために死者を出すしかないってわけ。
I get it. Arcueid wants to starve them out. It would be nearly impossible to find our target just by looking, so I'll have to flush them into the open. We'll cut off all their other options, give them no choice but to go out and hunt for themselves. Once they make their move, Arcueid will be able to sense them. And that's when the real hunt begins. We're going to stop this at the source, just like with Vlav.
状況は分かった。とにかく夜になったら街を歩き回ってまだ活動している死者を見つければいいんだな。
ええ。それでシキ、あなたにはメガネを外してついてきてほしいんだけど、いい？
メガネを外
その方が確実だから。
Stop. Kitty. Stop. Alice, stop trying to eat the cord. I need that.
私は人間と人間じゃないものの気配を感じ取れる。あなたは聖者と死者の違いが視覚情報として読み取れる。索敵方法は大いに越したことはないでしょ。
Arcueid's explanation makes sense. Plus, I'm the one who agreed to help, so there's no reason for me to decline. I just don't know if I'm comfortable with this.
あなたの体に大きく負担をかけることになるでしょうね。でも、いい機会だからもう一度だけ確認したいの。シキが大丈夫だと判断するのなら、メガネを外してついてきて。
She wants me to walk around town without my glasses, huh? In the 7 years since I got these glasses, I've never once tried to do that before. Looking at inanimate objects is enough to give me a headache, so it's not hard to imagine what strolling through town with my eyes exposed would do to me. But even so, it's okay. One little headache won't kill me. Besides, headache is nothing compared to what Arcueid has to deal with right now.
いいよ。メガネを外してついていく。それで型がつくって言うんなら安いもんだ。
Ah,
そう。
that was the cat.
なら行きましょう。
Take a deep breath, remove my glasses, and set off into town. Arcueid and I walk side by side through the crowds. It's the first time since I was hospitalized that I've walked around like this with the lines in full view. I don't feel any dizziness as of yet. Simply seeing them doesn't give me too much of a headache. While I can look at the thin lines on the buildings just fine, every glimpse of the lines tracing the people we pass makes me feel sick. Disgust surges within me. It's not the sight of their line-covered bodies that make me feel this way. It's the unwelcome knowledge that humans can die so easily that forces bile up my throat. Sorry. Needed some water. We continue our search. Arcueid takes each step confidently, never saying a word. We spend around 2 hours checking prominent places close to the station. But in the end, we don't find anyone resembling that clump of lions from earlier. Akiha is going to rip you to pieces, Shiki.
Shiki、メガネをかけていいわ。やっぱり、もう今夜の死者はいないみたい。
I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normal and I breathe a sigh of long-awaited relief.
そんな簡単に見切りをつけていいのか。まだ1回しか街を見回ってないけど。
一度見回れば十分よ。気配っていうのはね、多少はその場所に残留するものなの。でも街には死者の気配がどこにもなかった。食料を調達する死者はさっきので最後だったのかも。ここからはもう一段階上の死者を潰していくわ。
不機嫌そうだな、アルクエイド。
当然でしょ。せっかく四季がいてくれるのに空振りなんだもの。
She won.
ああ、かっこいいとこ見せようと思ったの。
Looks like Arcueid wanted to show off in front of the guy she likes. Huh. Can't say I expected that to be the reason.
まあ俺は無駄骨でも気にしないけど、そんなにご不満ならもう一度街を回っても構わないぞ。俺も今度は意識を集中してみる。もしかしたら何か見つけられるかもしれない。
ダメよ。今夜はこれ以上あなたに無理はさせられない。
無理って別に俺は無理なんか。
してるのよ。四季本人は気がついてないだけ。今だって顔色すごく青いし。
She guides, or rather pushes me down onto the bench. Truthfully, I'm about ready to throw up, so I'll take a seat for a bit. The relief is such that I accidentally let out a sigh. All the tension I'd bottled up was released at the moment I sat down. I guess I really was pushing myself too hard.
ありがとう。助かった。でもこれぐらい今までの頭痛に比べたら軽度だぞ。意識を保っていられないめまいに比べれば危ないこともないんだし。
My nausea will fade if I breathe in the fresh night air. Next to Arcueid's wound, this is nothing. She doesn't need to worry so much about... Arcueid?
弱い生き物のくせに無理はしないで。失神しなければ軽度。それは間違いよ。あなたの目に軽いも重いもない。あまり見えないものを見ようとしないで。そんなに脳を酷使したら廃人になりかねないわ。
廃人って誰が？
あなたがよ。どうしてそんなに危機感がないの？こんな希少な魔眼持ちなのに平和主義者とか美味しい獲物にも程があるし。よく今まで生きてこられたわね。ひょいってつまんで食べられるわよ普通。
Where on earth would that be normal? And hey, I'd appreciate it if she gave the nations of the world a little credit. Even if she wants to call us complacent, it's kind of amazing that law and order prevails as much as it does.
分かった。あんまり言いたくなかったけど、ちゃんと説明してあげる。いい？四季は生物の死は見やすくて、鉱物の死は見にくいって言ってたでしょ？それはね、結局はあなたの脳の回線の問題なの。物の死、その因果を見るということは、実際は見ているではなく、読んでいるという意味合いに近いわ。すべての事象には大元になった原因。この宇宙の始まりにしておしまいの地点。そこには全てを記録したものがある。記録というよりはあるものだから情報とは呼べない。ただあるだけ。それ自体に意思はないし方向性もありえない。原因を垂れ流しているだけの根源の渦みたいなものね。この世界にあるものはその渦から流れ派生して今の形に行き着いたわ。私も四季も吸血種も人間も元はそこから始まった原子に過ぎない。もう離れすぎ複雑になりすぎてしまって原因である始まりに戻ることはできないけど、とにかくそういった位置があるのはわかるでしょ。でもね、たとえどんなに大元からかけ離れた形になっても派生した存在である以上、とても細い線だけど糸はつながっているのよ。すべての根源、すべての始まりと終わりを記録したレコード。それとつながっているものは物事の終わりを知っていることになる。高等動物の脳は受信と送信を司る機能なんだけど、大抵の人間はその回線が自分に対してのみで閉じてしまっている。けど中には潜在的に回線が開いている人間もいる。何の魔術回路も利用せず超越種でさえないのに超常現象を可能とする人間。これをね、魔術師たちは超能力者って区分している。人間でありながら生まれついて何らかの魔術回路そのものという突然変異体。例えば何の神秘も学んでいないのに物の死を見てしまう人間とかね。
Sorry, Arcueid. I appreciate you explaining all this to me, but my brain barely understood a word.
いいわよ。式は理解なんかしなくて。言っておきたいのは、あんまり見えにくいものを自分から見ようとしちゃダメってこと。
So what you're saying is, if Shiki pushed his thinking somewhat, he could see the death of objects that he couldn't see beforehand. I see, I see. I imagine that would cause his brain to explode if he pushed himself too hard, though.
私は見えないから断言はできないけど、式が見てしまってるものは線だけじゃないはずよ。
It's exactly as she says. Sometimes when I strain my eyes, the lines seem to form a single point. I saw something like that at that last moment with Vlav. Now that I think back, it wasn't just with Vlav. The shock may have shut my brain off from reality, but I know they were there.
そうだ。あの時、お前を殺した時も確かに点が見えてた。何個もあって、線は点と点を結ぶように流れてた。
Like blood vessels, maybe. If the lines are blood vessels, then the points are whatever brings them forth.
物の死にやすい線とその死。なんでしょうね、それ。式はその気になれば鉱物の死を見ることだって可能だと思う。けどそのために脳が生物の範疇から鉱物の範疇に回線を開いて鉱物の死を知ろうとしてしまう。それは本来ありえない運動よ。脳は過負荷を起こして式は間違いなく使い物にならなくなる。
Past the point of no return,
それ
huh?
はこの目が死を見なくなってくれるってこと？
No, it means your brain would explode.
まさか。ねえ式、無茶をしてオーバーブローしたエンジンはどうなるのかしら。
Alice? Alright, both of you stay in my arms for the moment. Nah. Both of the kittens are actively trying to eat the headphone cord.
そりゃジャンク行きだろ。一度でも焼き付いたエンジンは二度と使い物にならな。
Ah, I see. The headaches I get when I see death are the cries of an engine overheating.
わかった。ただ見えているだけなら問題はないでしょうけど、見えないものを見ようとするのだけはやめて。せいぜい血管が破裂して脳に負荷がかかるぐらいに留めておきなさい。その先に踏み込んだら生きながらにして石になるなんて末路になりかねない。
So yeah, Shiki, just go as far as giving yourself a stroke.
そのメガネを作ってくれた魔術師には感謝しないとね。大抵の超能力者は自分の力がどんなに危険なものか知らずに使用して自分から廃人になってしまうから。まあ人間でありながら人間の社会では生きられない存在的不適合者だから、その方が幸せなのかもしれないけど。どうやらそれが私がここに来た理由のようだし、私が君を以前の生活に戻してあげる。
That's what Master told me when she made these glasses. I wish so much it hurts to think about. That day she saved me in more ways than one. I wouldn't be here without her.
ところで、
うわ！
Mina! Stop messing with that. And Alice, stop messing with the power cord. Mina! Arcueid materializes right in my face as I'm in the middle of ruminating. This isn't good for my heart. I wish she'd at least let me have a moment considering what we just talked about.
なんだよ。 メガネならもう渡さないぞ。
No, tomorrow you're taking her on a date, Shiki.
そうじゃなくて、
You might have just heard Alice meowing.
これからどうする？もう死者は出てきそうにないし、今夜はここでお別れにする？
Having to wrangle cat. I'm having to literally wrangle cats. It's 11 o'clock. My curfew was ages ago. I'll... Oi! Stop. Stop messing with the cable. I'll talk with Arcueid a little longer. There's still so much I don't understand, despite already having decided to help hunt this vampire.
いや、まだ吐き気が収まらない。町の巡回は無理でも、それぐらいならいいだろう。
No, don't bite that. She's now trying to attack the antennas. Hang on, I'll be back in a moment. Okay. Yeah, they're being extra rambunctious tonight. We may not be able to look... We may not be able to look around the town, but that's okay, right?
そう？私はいいけど、四季はいいの？人間って夜は眠くなるんでしょ？
別にいいよ。もともと眠るのは苦手だし。
苦手ってことは不眠症？
いや、寝つきはいい。単に好きじゃないってこと。
ふん。夢は見ないの？
Dream? I'm not sure how to answer that.
とにかく0時までは付き合う。そっちが話ずくめで疲れてるならこのまま帰るけど。
ううん、全然疲れてない。むしろ全力で受けて立つわ。
そうなんだ。元気があって羨ましいけど、勢い余って暴れ出すなよ。
そんな無駄なことするわけないし。もう、シキは私のことなんだと思ってるの？なんか誤解してない？
大丈夫。そこは完璧ブレてない。
Time to barrage her with questions. What do I want to know about? This is a good chance to ask. No, the best chance. And I've actually been insanely curious about it.
ブローブと戦っていた時に着てた服見せて。
Yep. I had a feeling she'd look at me like that. But I just can't get that image out of my
あ
head.
の時は遠くにいたからよく見えなくて。なんか今と違う服装になってなかった？
With all my being, I muster a tone suggesting simple scientific curiosity. If Arcueid thinks I have ulterior motives, that's on her.
おお、ブローブ対策で表面を変えていた時のこと？疲れるからやりたくないんだけど、レシピはまだ残してるから。はい、これでいいの？
Oh my god. Shiki, are you going to be weird again? All good, she asks. As if the sight before me wasn't positively breathtaking, there stands her beautiful flowing form. Soft gloves envelop her arms in a silken embrace. The shoulders are open, revealing gorgeous, immaculate skin. So this is what it's like to be at a total loss for words. Achingly beautiful is the only phrase that comes to mind to describe the alabaster vision. An incomprehensible groan of admiration escapes from my lips. It's hard to believe the thing before me is the same vampire who's caused me nothing but trouble today. I wonder if she wouldn't come back to the mansion wearing that. That would certainly be something to see.
これ、私の選択ミスだからあんまり好きじゃないんだけど。ブローブの原理が寒さだと見抜いていれば、もっとあったかいイメージで固めてたわ。
Now that she mentions it, the air does feel colder around her. It almost looks as if glimmering crystals of ice are swirling in the air.
そっか、耐熱仕様なんだもんな。そりゃ冷房機能もついてるか。
そう、くれぐれも触らないでね。触れると四季も凍っちゃうから。これは私自身の守りじゃなくて、ブローブに組みついた時、炎を消すために作ったものよ。
The best defense is good offense, huh? How very like Arcueid. Shiki's being weird. Still, and I hate to admit this, she really is a princess.
もう、何を難しそうな顔して。もしかして四季、私の失敗を見て楽しいの？
そんなわけあるか。これが失敗なら世の中の9割は失敗だ。普段からこの格好はダメだよな。目立ちすぎる。
You'd stand out way too much.
第一、他のやつに見せるなんてとんでもない。これは俺だけの特権だ。
Shiki's being weird again.
そう？じゃあ気に入ったってこと？
The realization of what I just said crashes over me like a wave. Because of the sight in front of me, I fail to stop myself from saying something so stupid.
まあ、それなりに。一緒に戦う時
Shiki, just admit that you think she looks nice in that outfit. Something, anything to salvage this. It seems she's happy to be a big help.
もちろん、私基本的に万能だから。殺すことしか能のない四季を最大限にサポートするね。
Maybe I went a little too far. Now I'm pretty sure she intends to launch me at our enemies like a tennis ball. Honestly, maybe my fault for coming up with such a crazy plan when we fought Love.
ところでその服名前とかあるのか？
名前？そんなのいちいち決めないけど、ドレスコードはそうね、そういうイメージで作ったわ。
じゃあグローブの力を見抜いていたら、
キラーウェアをイメージしていたでしょうね。あそこは今も活動している火山だから。
Admittedly, I would love to see her in Hawaiian style.
ねえ、そろそろ着替えていい？力無駄に使いたくないし。
While I may be sad to see the dress go, I have no grounds to stop her. I tell her it's fine, trying to keep my composure all the while. A more compelling question comes to mind.
なあ、グローブとの戦闘服がなんでドレスなんだ？社交界に行くわけでもあるまいし。
社交界ってそういうものでしょ？
なるほど。
Apparently, vampire big shots spend all their time at each other's throats. And to be fair, high society does appear to be quite cutthroat. The hands of the clock have reached their zenith. While we were talking, midnight snuck up on us.
もう日付が変わっちゃうね。もったいないけど、そろそろ休んでもらわないと。
俺ならまだ元気だけど。
それは四季がそう思ってるだけよ。今夜はここでお別れにしましょう。どうせまた明日には会えるんだから。
Arcueid begins moving away with a little dance step, still looking my
明
way.
日って、ちょっと待て。待ち合わせ場所とかどうするんだよ。
She's gonna come by the mansion again, isn't she?
ここでいいよ。時間は10時頃がちょうどいいかな。おやすみなさい、四季。また明日、ここでね。
There's no stopping her. After offering a cheerful wave, she departs.
No.
The mind wants to complain, but the heart just isn't in it. She may be trouble, but even more than that, she's cute.
なんだよ、今の顔。
Shiki's an idiot. But he is funny. She's dangerous. How could I ever miss our plans if she's going to look at me like that? I make it back to the mansion. Not a single light brightens the building. The door isn't locked.
ちゃんと開けててくれたんだ。
Akiha is probably waiting on the inside, ready to tear your throat out, Shiki. I let out a grateful sigh. So as to not wake anyone, I end up tiptoeing to my room. Another sigh, this time from relief, escapes as I settle onto the bed. Arcueid was right, my body is thoroughly exhausted. Feels like the mattress is sucking me in. Still lying down, I let out a massive breath. Again, I'm working with Arcueid. Fate just keeps dragging me back into her blast radius.
でも仕方ないじゃないか。放っておけなかったんだから。
Or maybe I don't want to. Maybe I'm drawn to her, to all her beauty and all her inhumanity. How stupid of me. I've already killed once with these hands, so what am I losing my mind over? The whole reason I'm even touching this vampire hunting business is for the city I call home. I don't want to die, so I have to help out.
そうだ。それ以外。
Don't kid yourself, Shiki. I close my eyes, glasses off, and sleep takes me over, a giant hand pulling my body and my consciousness into a deep darkness. Whatever happens, I'll be fighting alongside her again. Right now, I should just get ready for tomorrow. And yes, I would like to save my progress. Oh, wait. Mystic Eyes of Death Perception 2. No, I did not mean to... Okay, yeah, that's where we're going to call it tonight. To anyone who sees this, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on Sunday. Take care.